Have you ever felt stuck on your spiritual path and wondered what might be holding you back? It's a feeling many of us experience, especially when we're striving for deeper understanding and growth. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 common mistakes that can slow down or even block our spiritual progress. By becoming aware of these pitfalls, you can avoid them and move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Let's dive in and discover how to navigate your spiritual path more effectively. One of the most fundamental mistakes we can make on our spiritual path is neglecting self-care. It's easy to get caught up in the quest for spiritual enlightenment and overlook the importance of taking care of our physical and mental health. However, self-care is the foundation upon which all spiritual growth is built. When we talk about self-care, we're referring to activities and practices that support our overall well-being. This includes eating nutritious foods, getting enough sleep, engaging in regular physical exercise, and taking time to relax and recharge. It also involves paying attention to our mental health by managing stress, seeking support when needed, and practicing mindfulness or meditation. Neglecting self-care can lead to burnout, making it difficult to maintain the energy and focus needed for spiritual practices. When we're exhausted or stressed, it's challenging to connect with our inner selves or higher consciousness. Our physical bodies are the vessels through which we experience life, and taking care of them is crucial for a balanced and healthy spiritual journey. To avoid this mistake, make self-care a priority. Set aside time each day for activities that nurture your body and mind. Remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's essential for your well-being and spiritual growth. By maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you create a strong foundation that supports your spiritual practices and helps you stay grounded and focused. Another common mistake on the spiritual path is seeking external validation. This means looking for approval, recognition, or affirmation from others, instead of trusting our own inner guidance. While it's natural to want to feel accepted and understood, relying too much on external validation can undermine our spiritual growth. When we seek validation from others, we give away our power. We become dependent on their opinions and judgments, which can lead to a loss of personal direction. This can be particularly challenging in the age of social media, where we're constantly bombarded with images and messages that can make us question our own worth and progress. The key to avoiding this mistake is to cultivate self-trust and inner confidence. Practice listening to your intuition and following your inner guidance, even when it goes against the opinions of others. Remember that your spiritual path is unique to you, and no one else can define what it should look like. One way to build self-trust is through regular reflection and meditation. Take time each day to connect with your inner self and tune in to your inner voice. Pay attention to your feelings and instincts, and use them as a guide in your decision-making process. By developing a strong connection with your inner self, you'll become less reliant on external validation and more confident in your own path. In our quest for spiritual growth, it's easy to fall into the trap of overloading ourselves with information. We read books, watch videos, attend workshops, and follow numerous spiritual teachers, all in the hope of gaining more knowledge and insight. While it's important to educate ourselves, consuming too much information without proper reflection can lead to confusion and overwhelm. When we overload ourselves with information, we can become overwhelmed by conflicting ideas and concepts. This can make it difficult to form a clear and cohesive understanding of our own beliefs and practices. Instead of feeling enlightened, we may feel more confused and uncertain than before. To avoid this mistake, practice selective consumption of information. Choose a few trusted sources and focus on their teachings, rather than trying to absorb everything at once. Take time to reflect on what you've learned and how it applies to your own life. Allow yourself the space to integrate new knowledge and insights, rather than rushing to consume more. It's also helpful to take breaks from consuming information and spend time in quiet reflection or meditation. This allows your mind to process and integrate what you've learned, leading to deeper understanding and clarity. Remember that spiritual growth is not a race, and it's okay to take your time to absorb and apply new knowledge. One of the most powerful tools we have on our spiritual path is our intuition. Intuition is our inner knowing, a sense of guidance that comes from within. However, many of us ignore or dismiss our intuition, either because we don't trust it or because we're too focused on external advice. Ignoring intuition can lead to poor decisions and missed opportunities. When we don't listen to our inner voice, we may find ourselves making choices that don't align with our true selves. This can create feelings of dissatisfaction and confusion, and prevent us from reaching our full potential. To avoid this mistake, practice tuning in to your intuition and trusting its guidance. Start by paying attention to your gut feelings and instincts. Notice how your body reacts to different situations and people, and use these sensations as a guide. You can also strengthen your intuition through practices such as meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature. Trusting your intuition doesn't mean ignoring logic or rational thinking. Instead, it's about finding a balance between the two. Use your intuition to guide you, and then apply your logical mind to make informed decisions. By honoring both your intuition and your intellect, you can navigate your spiritual path with greater clarity and confidence. A common pitfall on the spiritual path is comparing ourselves to others. We look at other people's progress, achievements, and experiences, and measure our own against theirs. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and frustration. Comparing ourselves to others is particularly harmful because everyone's spiritual path is unique. What works for one person may not work for another, and everyone's journey unfolds at its own pace. When we compare ourselves to others, we undermine our own unique path and potential. To avoid this mistake, focus on your own journey and progress. Celebrate your achievements no matter how small they may seem. Remember that spiritual growth is not a competition, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. Practice gratitude for where you are on your path, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Instead of comparing yourself to others, use their experiences as inspiration and motivation. Learn from their successes and challenges, but always stay true to your own path. By letting go of comparisons, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure and stress. You can then focus on your own growth and development, and enjoy the unique and beautiful journey that is your spiritual path. One of the biggest challenges on the spiritual path is maintaining patience. We often expect quick results and immediate transformations, and when they don't happen, we become frustrated and discouraged. However, spiritual growth is a gradual process that requires time and patience. Impatience can lead to hasty decisions and actions that may not be in our best interest. It can also cause us to give up on our practices and goals prematurely, before we've had a chance to see the results. This can create a cycle of frustration and stagnation, preventing us from making meaningful progress. To avoid this mistake, cultivate patience and trust in the process. Remember that spiritual growth is a lifelong journey, and it's okay to take your time. Set realistic goals and expectations, and celebrate small achievements along the way. Practice mindfulness and stay present in the moment. Instead of focusing on the end result, enjoy the process and the lessons it brings. Trust that each step, no matter how small, is leading you closer to your goals. By cultivating patience, you create a more relaxed and enjoyable experience on your spiritual path. You can then approach your practices with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than frustration and pressure. Change is an inevitable part of the spiritual path, but it can also be one of the most challenging aspects. We often cling to old beliefs, habits, and ways of being because they feel familiar and safe. However, this resistance to change can prevent us from growing and evolving. Fear of change can manifest in various ways. We may avoid trying new practices or exploring new ideas because we're afraid of stepping out of our comfort zone. We may also resist letting go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us, even when we know they're holding us back. To avoid this mistake, embrace change as a natural and necessary part of spiritual growth. Recognize that change is not something to be feared, but an opportunity for transformation and renewal. Trust that each change, no matter how challenging, is leading you to a higher level of understanding and awareness. Practice being open and flexible. Allow yourself to explore new ideas and practices, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Let go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you, and make space for new ones that support your growth. By embracing change, you create a more dynamic and evolving spiritual path. You become more resilient and adaptable, and better equipped to navigate the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Emotional healing is a crucial part of the spiritual path, but it's often one of the most difficult aspects to address. We all carry emotional wounds from past experiences, and these wounds can create blockages that prevent us from moving forward. Resisting emotional healing can lead to ongoing inner conflict and suffering. When we avoid facing our emotions, we suppress them and create deeper layers of pain. This can manifest in various ways, such as anxiety, depression, or physical illness. To avoid this mistake, commit to your emotional healing process. Allow yourself to feel and express your emotions, rather than suppressing them. Seek support from trusted friends, therapists, or spiritual guides who can help you navigate this process. Practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Recognize that healing is a gradual process, and it's okay to take your time. Be gentle with yourself and honor your feelings, no matter how difficult they may be. By addressing and healing your emotional wounds, you create a clearer and more open path for your spiritual growth. You release the blockages that have been holding you back and make space for greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. Spiritual techniques and practices are valuable tools for growth, but it's easy to become overly focused on them. We may get caught up in the mechanics of meditation, yoga, or other practices and lose sight of their deeper purpose. Overemphasis on techniques can create rigid routines and a lack of true spiritual connection. When we focus too much on the how and not enough on the why, we may find ourselves going through the motions without experiencing meaningful results. To avoid this mistake, focus on the intention behind your practices. Remember that the purpose of spiritual techniques is to connect with your inner self and higher consciousness. Rather than getting caught up in the details, stay present and mindful during your practices. Allow yourself to be flexible and adapt your practices to your current needs and circumstances. It's okay to try different techniques and see what works best for you. The key is to approach your practices with an open heart and a genuine desire for growth. By focusing on the intention behind your practices, you create a deeper and more meaningful spiritual connection. You become more attuned to your inner self and better able to navigate your spiritual path. Consistency is key to making progress on the spiritual path, but it's easy to fall into the trap of inconsistency. We may start out with enthusiasm and dedication, but over time, our practices may become sporadic or neglected. Lack of consistency can lead to stagnation and lack of progress. When we're not regularly engaging in our spiritual practices, it's difficult to build momentum and see meaningful results. This can create feelings of frustration and disappointment and make it harder to stay motivated. To avoid this mistake, commit to maintaining a consistent spiritual practice. Set aside time each day for your practices and make them a non-negotiable part of your routine. Find a balance that works for you and be realistic about what you can commit to. It's also helpful to create a supportive environment for your practices. Surround yourself with positive influences and remove distractions that may interfere with your routine. Seek support from like-minded individuals who can help you stay accountable and motivated. By maintaining consistency, you create a strong foundation for your spiritual growth. You build momentum and create positive habits that support your journey. You also develop greater discipline and resilience, which are essential qualities for spiritual progress. Avoiding these common mistakes can greatly enhance your spiritual journey and lead to deeper understanding and growth. Neglecting self-care, seeking external validation, overloading with information, ignoring intuition, comparing your path to others, lack of patience, fear of change, resisting emotional healing, overemphasis on techniques, and lack of consistency are all pitfalls that can hinder your progress. By becoming aware of these mistakes and taking steps to avoid them, you can navigate your spiritual path with greater clarity and confidence. Remember that your journey is unique to you, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. Trust in yourself and your inner guidance, and stay committed to your growth and well-being. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights and inspiration for your spiritual journey. If you found it helpful, please share your experiences in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more insights on spiritual growth. Thank you for watching, and we wish you all the best on your path.